Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a first impressions and review on the new Dior Skin Nude Air Nude Healthy Glow Ultra Fluid Serum Foundation. And it just looks like this here. It just comes in this box here, and you get 1 fluid ounce in this product, and it is $66 Canadian for that fluid ounce. Now on the Sephora website, it did show this under the new section, so I thought it was a new foundation, but when I went to look up like reviews and stuff on like YouTube for it, it actually showed like videos from like 3 years ago about this foundation. So I don't know if it's just new to Sephora or if it's like reformulated or what, but it could also be that they discontinued it and decided to bring it back. I'm not really sure, but this is just what this guy looks like here, and it's a really pretty bottle. It is glass, so if you want to travel, this might not be the best option. And it also does have the little squishy part up here for the dropper inside. I got mine in the shade 021 Linen. So I grabbed this shade because it looked like the best match for me on the website, but I think it is going to be a little bit dark for me. I was trying to find a shade that didn't have too strong of a pink undertone in it, which most of them looked like they did, so that's why I went for this shade, but it definitely looks like it's going to be too dark for me, but we're just gonna deal with that. So basically, I'm just going to be doing a first impressions and wear test on this foundation. I'll wear it throughout the day and let you guys know how it wore. I'll come back at the end of the day and like show you up close what it looks like and everything. So let's just get into this. First, I'm just going to take my Makeup Revolution primer drops. These are a primer oil, and I like to just take like 1 little drop of this, kind of spread it out throughout my face because it really does help with the dryness of my skin and just makes a lot of things lay nicer on the skin and not look so like dried out and everything. So I just take about 2, maybe 3 drops of this depending on the day, but it really does help with my skin. Also, by the way, I did get a new camera, so I'm just kind of testing it out right now and seeing like how to like work all the functions and everything. So if this video quality isn't as great, then I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to figure out all like the exposure and white balance and everything for it and in my setting and everything, so just hang on with me while I like work through that. But yeah, so I think I'm just gonna take about 2.5. So I'm just gonna take about 2.5 drops today and just smooth this out all over my face. I do have mascara and my brows on so far, but that is it. Alright, so I am going to be trying this foundation half my face with a wet beauty blender and the other half with this foundation brush from Wet n Wild. Is their P55 brush. It's part of their new collection. It has kind of like a little divot in there for the foundation to go into. So I did want to try like half and half. I usually use a beauty blender, but I did want to try this one with like a brush as well. So I'm just going to read you the claims and like what this foundation says. So it says, a persecutor in the art of natural, for beauty that grows with radiant more each day. Dior broadens its nude makeup expertise with the innovation of Dior Skin Nude Air, an ultra fluid serum foundation, featuring a non-makeup feel, as weightless and beneficial as a breath of fresh air. For an enhanced complexion with a sheer finish, like after a day in the great outdoors, the face gains a continual natural glow. So the reason I wanted to pick this foundation up is because I do like more sheer coverage foundations and stuff, and I like more like natural to glowy looking foundations and everything, so that's why I wanted to try this guy. It is on the more expensive end, so I'm definitely gonna let you know if I think it's worth the higher price tag, but let's just get into this. So this foundation does come with the little dropper here, and as you can see, this foundation is super duper liquidy. I don't know, I'll try and zoom in even more so you guys can see, but look at how liquidy that is. It's basically like water almost. So I think I'm just gonna put this like on the back of my hand and then dab my beauty blender there and then apply it on my face, because I do think that the beauty blender is gonna soak it up. Look at how runny that is. That is insanely runny, like, oh my goodness. And it definitely is too dark for me right now, but we are just gonna ignore that part. I do find that it kind of dried really fast on the back of my hand. Like, I don't know, I'm not sure if I like that part so much, because unless I tried applying it straight to my face, but I'm not sure if that would work with this because it is so liquidy. I feel like it would just run right off my face. So as you can see, it's like way too dark for me right now, but we're just gonna deal with that. So I just used that little bit, and I'm just gonna use a little bit more to kind of go down my neck to try and blend it in. It really does dry really fast on the back of my hand though. Like whenever I go in for like the second thing, it's already like dried down on my hand. I do think it has a pretty finish to it. It's kind of like just a really natural finish. It's like, I guess, a satin matte to me. That's what it looks like. It doesn't really look really glowy or anything. So it's not like blending out on my neck very well with the beauty blender, so I'm just gonna try using the brush. Do you see how fast it dries down though? Like I have some like dots there. And the beauty blender definitely soaked like a ton of it up, so that's not that good either. For how expensive it is, like you don't want that happening. So I'm gonna attempt to drop this in here. Okay, yeah, that doesn't really work either because the brush actually just like soaked all of that up. Let's see if it comes out though. I just feel like you're gonna waste a lot of the product because it's so liquidy. So I guess again, I'll just put it on the back of my hand and then dip my brush in there and get some of it on it and then swipe it on my face. Yeah, we'll try dropping some of it. Ah! So it doesn't say on the website at all like how to apply this, at least on the Sephora website or on the box here. So I'd be kind of interested to know how they apply it. The side with the brush actually does have some like brush strokes going on, so I'm just gonna kind of try and dab that out a bit. I do find that the side with the brush actually gave maybe a smidge bit more coverage, but I don't really like how it laid on my skin. It looked a little bit more like foundation. Alright, so far, ignoring the part that it's way too dark for me right now, I don't know if this is like that great of a foundation for me. For one thing, it says it's supposed to be like serum, like super lightweight and everything, and I do think that it's like lightweight in the way that I can't really feel it. Like I can't tell that I'm wearing like foundation on my skin, but it doesn't really look like a serum foundation. It doesn't look like a lightweight foundation. Like I can definitely see it on my skin a bit. I do like the finish of it. I like that it's kind of like a satin finish. It looks really natural that way, but I don't like how easy it dries down, and I feel like you're just gonna go through this product so fast because like everything just seems to suck it up. I definitely like applying it with the beauty blender better just of the finish that it gives, although a brush does apply it more thickly. Like honestly, this is more like a medium coverage foundation. Like it covered up like my acne spots here and everything. So far it's not sinking into any lines, and it is like, I don't know if it's because of the primer oil I used, probably not, but I noticed that there's not really any dry patches yet, which is really good. Actually, I think it is like sinking into my smile lines a little bit, but I just feel like I'm gonna go through this like so fast. Like I'm just gonna like if you use this for like your everyday foundation and everything, I think you would go through it quite quickly, just because of how much of it like disappears. Plus, when you're like putting it on the skin, it doesn't really spread out that much. Like, I kept having to get more and more of it to kind of like spread it out more, and because it does dry so fast, you have to work kind of quickly to spread it around. So I did just put on a little bit of my Tarte Shape Tape concealer underneath my eyes, but it looks kind of crazy because this foundation is so dark for me. And honestly, I feel like it's getting darker. Like, I feel like it's oxidizing a bit, if that makes sense. And I also just set my under eyes with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus pressed powder here. And I just used my like Wet n Wild P60 brush. Just a big powder brush. I really love this brush. I mean, it hasn't been that much time, but I can see it looking more and more like foundation on my skin, and I can see it sinking into my smile lines more. I'm just not really sure about this. I am going to come back at the end of the day and let you guys know like what I think and everything, but so far it doesn't look like it's like worth the money for me, at least, and my skin type and like what I'm looking for and everything. I'm going to come back at the end of the day and I will let you guys know. So hey guys, so I'm back. So it's been about 6 hours now, just over 6 hours, and honestly I just don't like this foundation on me. It just, I don't know, in some patches it's like kind of breaking up on my skin, like on my chin and on my nose, and then for some reason just like all over my skin it kind of looks like I have like a powder all over it, which is really weird. So when it dried down, it didn't dry down like a normal like serum foundation. It dried down to more of a powder finish, which I don't really like on me. And it just seems like it's sinking into like any pores on my forehead even, or right here. But then where it's not sinking into like lines, it's just looking very thick and kind of a little bit cakey. So this isn't my favorite foundation. I honestly think I'll probably return it since it was so expensive. I also think that it's worn off on places, and I don't even remember like rubbing those places or anything. They're just kind of like not there on the skin anymore. Like on my chin area in some places, it's just like kind of vanished, and it's just kind of left like with kind of like spots of like the foundation still there and spots of like just my skin sort of. So that's kind of weird. I haven't had that before, so I wasn't expecting that with such like a high-end foundation as well. But yeah, that happened as well. So personally for me, this foundation is like a no-go because it just doesn't work for me. It basically like kind of fails in all like my categories that I put at the top of my list to be important and everything as far as foundation goes. So yeah. So as you can see, like my chin is definitely coming through, and like all the red dots and everything that are there, it's kind of like, I don't know, just coming off in certain places and kind of like blotching up on my nose and everything. And if you can see, it's like sinking into all my lines on my forehead still, plus it's kind of sunk into like any pores that I have there as well, which I've never had on my forehead before. Same with on my cheeks here. Yeah, just not my favorite. But yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful, and if you did, let me know down below, or if you have any comments or questions, just put them all down in the comments part down below and I'll definitely get back to you guys. But yeah, that is it for today's video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below, and if you're new, I would love it if you subscribe. Just hit that big red subscribe button down below, and then you won't miss out on any future videos or giveaways. It means so much to me if you did. And yeah, I guess I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!